Let's make it a good day. We do it our own way. Let's make it a good day. Oh, no matter what they say. Oh, yeah, yeah.
Welcome back. The guys of the Am House. Check their tour schedule. Support them, buy their music on Apple Music. Well, nothing can get folks fired up quite like the debate over tipping. How much is too much, and when are you just being a little cheap? Joining us now, she's not your father's financial advisor, the CEO and founder of Stash Wealth, our friend Priya Malani. Hi, Priya.
Hey, Jason. Thanks for having me.
I was talking to the guys. I was telling Ted and Jeff, when I do this topic on the radio show, and we've done versions of this over the years, the phone lines light up like very few topics. Do you find that in your own life, that this is a hot topic, as they say?
Yeah, total chaos. It's crazy because it's something that people haven't really thought too much about before deciding how they're going to tip, but they're extremely sensitive and very particular that their way is the way.
Now, Priya, our chat today is kind of based on a new poll, right? A poll on tipping. Am I right on that?
Yeah, at Stash Wealth, we conducted an Instagram poll on tipping just to kind of feel, in the post-COVID environment, had thoughts and opinions changed? And I think that's where we really found out that people hadn't really thought about it too much, but COVID has certainly brought it to new light.
Okay, so we're talking restaurant, bar, takeout. And number one, let's start here, 20% at a sit-down restaurant. That doesn't seem to change. That hasn't changed in many years. So it's still at 20%, Priya?
20% seems to be what most people feel is fair for fine dining. So again, it's about the level of service, right? Ultimately, you're tipping to show how you feel you've received. If you've received really good service, you tip a little bit more. 20% seems to be the going rate that people can agree upon. Now, pre or post-tax, that's where it gets a little hairy.
Yeah, and we'll talk about that in a second. Let's move to the bar. A little different. What did the results say here, Priya?
So it depends, because if you're paying in cash, people seem to round up, because leaving maybe $1 per drink, which used to be the old standard, feels a little cheap in this day and age. So people might round up $2 or $3. That actually means they may end up tipping more than 20% on a drink. And if you're using your credit card, it's kind of easier to do the math.
Yeah, and I know I'm listening. I can hear the audience right now. They are hearing us say, because I agree with you. I try to over tip because I've been a server, and I'm a big advocate for the service industry. I think people are going to hear you say $2 to $3 per drink, and they're going to clutch the pearls a little bit. But that's pretty much the standard, right? That according to this poll.
Yep. That is the new standard. $1 feels a little bit light. So especially, as we've come through COVID and the service industry has obviously gone through quite an ordeal, everyone's sort of stepping up, and now a couple bucks is the new going rate. Well,
speaking of COVID, I think a lot of us has ordered more takeout in the last 16 months than we ever have in our life. What did the poll say about takeout?
Yeah, it's a wide variety of responses. No one can really agree. Sometimes we see 10%, sometimes we see a flat dollar amount. Sometimes people are doing the full 20, 25% even. It depends also, did your Uber Eats driver have to go back and forth because the restaurant messed up your order, and so they had to take it back and then bring it back? That all factors in to ultimately what people are tipping.
And, people should know, Priya, too, watch the bottom of whether, I use Uber Eats a lot, because there is a delivery charge, and then there's an opportunity for tip. There's a lot of charges that people need to kind of watch for, don't you think?
Yeah, absolutely. There's new line items that are popping up everywhere. Even when you go to a restaurant now, you'll see many restaurants are splitting out the tip for front of house and back of house. So they're giving you that decision, another decision on top of a tipping decision. Do you want to also put something for the people who prepared your meal, not just the people who served it to you?
Priya, you mentioned this a few minutes ago, pre or post tax. Did you guys get into this in the poll?
Yeah, we did. People are very emotional about this. Technically, tax at a restaurant is not part of what you're ordering. It's not part of the service, but many people feel like it is, and they're choosing to place their tip on top of the bill and the tax on the bill. So I think what we ultimately surmised is that as long as you're doing what you feel is right for you and you're being generous, if that's what you feel you should be doing, the golden rule is the best way to approach it. But a lot of people don't realize that when you sit down and do the math, like someone who might be tipping 15% post-tax is the same thing as 20% pre-tax. So for those of people out there who are tipping on the tax, but they're tipping 15%, it's a wash.
We have just under a minute. Let's take a look at this graphic, Priya. So add a tip. This is the screen right here that has become very common. Look at the phrases below. What's that?
This was actually, I was getting a smoothie the other day, and the point of sales, like the iPad where you actually have to, like, in front of everyone suggest what you're going to tip, it really puts the pressure on you. And while in the past it was a little bit more like not everyone knew what you were tipping, you're now picking right in front of everyone, and the point of sale systems are gearing you to where they want you to tip.
Well, I'm a good tipper, but Priya, I don't like the titles under that. You know what I mean? I feel that's very judgy.
It's so judgy, and everyone is doing it a little bit differently. So, knew my name, that 20%, it might hit that normally. I was actually getting my smoothie the other day, and she asked my name. So I was like, wait, do I now not tip 20% because she didn't know my name? And
I would have been like, I was going to give you $3, but since you cheated and asked my name, now you're getting $2.
Exactly.
Yeah. Priya, as always, I love having you because we always learn something in this goofy show. So thank you so much for being here.
Thanks, Jason.
For more information, head to stashwealth.com. Now we're talking to you because the conversation on tipping will continue with your Instagram messages and results in our poll next.